I got way more fans out in Germany than I do in my hometown. I don't know about you, but that's crazy to me. Been putting in work, so it works out. I've been spreading everywhere, I've got some word of mouth. But better tell the boys what I'm talking about. This is feeling like the big leagues, Mike Trout. Did it on my own, never coming home. Put it in a song, number one, put it on. I'm just doing what I want, yeah. I'm just doing what I want. Girls call me Dad Weird, cause I ain't got a son. Yeah, it's a celebration, now we up. Similar to elevation, and all my tracks hot like we on vacation. Always keep it free like we on PlayStation, but for real, all of you, follow your dreams, fuck a team if you know what I mean. Do it on your own, do your own thing. Cause at the end of the day, it's your own dream, know what I mean? Okay, now back to my cocky flow. If you ain't know about me, you should probably know. Cause we've been knocking down tracks, dominoes. And if you asking, man, we phenomenal. So grab a drink, everybody grab a drink. Let's go after all the people who've been down the brink. Just know there's better days ahead, despite what you think. Yeah, despite what you think.
We are searching for the endless summer. Cause even when it's gone, we see the colors. We are searching for the endless summer. Cause even when it's gone, we see the
Yeah. Knowledge. Loud. Came with a couple of questions. I am suggesting the obvious. Make you ingest my vernacular. Master of all my abilities. Acrobatic back and forth, I'm like an addict. Mr. Go and get it. Get the gab, I got it. I'm combative. Been in battles, won them all. Flow ridiculous, sentences running out. Now they all opposed. No one fucking with me. That's okay, cause I like my seclusion. They soon to succumb to the sound we created. I cater to no one but me and mine. Ain't no fucking handouts that was ever given. This is repetition at its finest, baby. I don't give a damn if anybody like it. Boy, I said that I do this for me. Let's make it clear. I'm a demonstrative lyricist. Literally in the infancy stages. I stated my purpose before, but they force on my hand with this ignorance. I'm innocent in the sense that I'm coming with purer intentions. I'm tempted to just take the singer out. Gotta figure out how we gon' make it happen. Time is not on my side in the midst of madness. I've been so lost on the road to travel. Giving everything I wanna, let my pain unravel. I'm a sick in the right room like a poet, I guess. None less than another that was legendary. I took a plan and I mapped it out. In terms of energy, I feel like I'm maxing out. How many times can you fail for you just submit? No one is convinced I'm in, but I wanna get out and my doubt is just consumed. I've been thinking what the hell I got to lose. A little bit of my pride I threw away, food for thought. I'm getting rid of my ego as a way to progress. I wanna humble myself, become meek and thankful. Just appreciate the talent that I was given. I wanna maximize it to attain a lot. I send all praise to the Most High, Lord.
We're live. The Justin Spaulding Show. Episode 17, says Maudine. Episode 17, says Maudine. Friday, April 16th. Janesville, Wisconsin. If you don't know who I am yet, Justin Spaulding, entrepreneur, real estate guy, businessman, Midwest guy, buying apartments, starting a painting company. We got 700 apartments. We got another 178 on our contract right now. We started a painting company a year ago. If you are not subscribed to YouTube and you're watching us through YouTube right now, join us through YouTube, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. We're going to keep putting more content out on YouTube as the year goes by. If you're listening or watching on Instagram, please share with people. Just would mean a lot. We're all about, growing people around here and helping other people get to where they want to be, giving advice, have some cool conversations, good conversations, like to have a little fun. I enjoy doing this podcast. When we started back in December, we just kind of started out of the blue and just rolled with it. Today, if you've been with us before live or seen our videos on YouTube, kind of had a different overlay that made it look like it was like 1970s. We just rolled with it. We kind of changed that a little bit. We'll still probably play around with it over the next couple weeks. Nothing's ever perfect, but we just kind of roll with it. That's what it's all about over here. I'm someone I'm all about taking action versus waiting for everything and getting everything perfect first. So like I'm like, let's get content going is my mindset. Let's put it out there, and Modine knows this too. And then we can always change what we're doing later. And nothing's ever gonna be perfect. So we just kind of roll with it and get going. That being said, I had a post the other day on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, Modine, what was the question? It was, would you rather have 1 billion friends
or $1 billion?
Yes. Would you rather have 1 billion friends or $1 billion? And actually, I'm shocked that there's so many people that said $1 billion. And when I think of friends, I think of leads, I think of contacts, I think of people who know you, acquaintances. I don't think of just like friends. And some people, a lot of the people that replied initially were like, man, $1 billion. And they thought I was kidding when I said 1 billion friends because of a smirk on my face. I think I had the smirk just because I was, I don't know. I think it was because I kind of also did semi-thought too that everyone was going to be a little bit shocked. But I don't know, for some reason I'm still shocked that was kind of the... I guess I'm disappointed in myself that other people replied and saying, I'd rather have the $1 billion, because if that's the case, then I feel like I'm not teaching you guys. I think I talk about all the time, money is just paper. It has no actual value. Like, it's just paper. You want to trade money. And yes, you want to have it cash flowing, but cash flow is different than money, the actual paper, right? And so when the question was 1 billion friends or $1 billion, I will take the 1 billion friends all the time. If we convert those friends, and let's just call them leads, right? And let's say your business, if you get 1 billion leads, let's say you can get 60% of those to start going down your funnel. You got 600 million leads going down your funnel now. Those 600 million leads that start with 1 billion contacts or 1 billion friends, though that's way more valuable, a way more valuable resource than $1 billion. It's worth way more than $1 billion to have 1 billion friends, 1 billion contacts, 1 billion leads, no doubt about it. And so I guess I was disappointed in myself in my content probably more than anything, and shocked from that standpoint that some of the people that follow me all the time are like, yeah, right, you'd rather have the $1 billion. No. Would I rather have $1 billion of cash flow? I don't know, maybe, right? But it's all about how can you use the resources that are available to you. And money, the actual paper money is just another resource that's actually less valuable than the things that you should be trading it for. If you're growing a business, if you want independence, if you want freedom, if you want options, if you want financial security, you better be trading your dollars for other goods. If money is useless if there's no transaction, right? So our investors, they've invested $30 million with us over the years. Today we sent money back out, $186,000 for this month, something like that, right? It's flowing, right? So it's not just money just sitting there. It's not just stagnant. You want it to move. You want to transact. It's a transaction, right? We take their money, we buy apartments, and my money, we buy apartments. We provide good service. We update the apartments, right? So we got money moving there, trading goods around, moving goods around, adding value. Anytime, if we just grabbed $30 million and told our investors, hey, we're just going to park it in this bank account. We got $30 million. We're just going to park it in this bank account. No one's going to invest with us, right? The only way you can have value and unlock value is if you're moving, transacting, and it's flowing. And so that's why I would rather have 1 billion friends, 1 billion contacts, 1 billion leads than $1 billion any day. Not even a question. And it's an attention thing, right? Because what you think about too is you think about, if you got 1 billion friends, whatever, you might think of a lead or someone, a customer is buying from you for one time, right? I think of someone that does business with us and we do business with them. I think there's going to be multiple transactions with that one person. It's not, I'm in this for life. I'm not in it for a quick dollar ever. So like when we get an investor, I'm never thinking so short term just for a selfish win. I'm thinking long term. So I want all those people to win so that there's more transactions, right? You have to have transactions. So anyways, that was just a little bit more on the post. And Modine, we can probably cut this up a little bit too, going in and just saying, hey, like this is more explanation on 1 billion friends versus $1 billion, and use some of that right there to cut it up, chop it up. So yeah, anyway, Modine, let's get into questions. And on Instagram, I'm going to encourage you guys as well to ask questions, please. And Modine, look at this. I love that, Modine. I like it a lot better. I like the motion. They all come from the left side? Okay. Did you have to like create that, like each individual thing, or is it like a setting that just it swipes in from the left?
I create.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. If you're not watching right now, I'm looking at the screen of myself of what this looks like for the people that are watching, and yeah. So I guess for those of you that are listening can't see this, but we changed our overlay like I said before, and the questions now kind of like slide in and it just looks cooler. All right. Anyways, how much money will you? The first question of the day: how much money will you make this year with your painting company? By making money, you're just talking about like revenue. You're talking about earnings, free cash flow, what? So with me, when I'm first starting a business, right, I bootstrap Prime Painters. I'm not looking to extract a lot of money out of our businesses, right? So I like Spaulding Group. Spaulding Group, the actual management portion of our company, I'm just trying to like break even each year. And what I mean by that is, yes, our revenues keep growing, right? And I'm not just wasting dollars, but I'm trying to grow the infrastructure and invest back in. So actual cash flow, Spaulding Group doesn't actually pay me any cash flow. The management company, right? That's not counting the properties. With Prime Painters, it's been the same thing. Prime Painters hasn't actually paid me, it's paid me very little. It hasn't actually really paid me anything because we have the revenue, we have the expenses, and then I'm taking the leftover dollars and I'm buying new vehicles. I'm investing in infrastructure. I'm investing in technology. I'm investing in new ladders, vehicles for our crews. I'm investing in advertising. We're doing more advertising than most people because we're trying to build a brand and become really well known, right? So if you're talking about earnings, like actual earnings, probably won't show very much, right? By choice. But now if you make adjustments and back out the things that are more of like one-time type investments or bigger investments, we'd probably be, our goal is to be 20%. So of our revenue, 20% is profit. If we get above 20%, we're going to have a split with our employees where X percent of that will go back to the employees as bonuses and all that stuff. I'll take the 20% if we hit that 20% and when we hit that 20%, and I'll put that in apartments, right? So I'm going to keep buying apartments. So once again, going back to the billion friends versus $1 billion, I'm not all about the paper sitting there. I keep it spinning, right? That's something that is so hard for some people to grasp, to keep the money spinning. You're going to lose a lot more momentum if it's sitting still. It's like a basketball spin on your finger. You can only spin it on your finger if you keep it spinning, if you keep the momentum going. Same thing when you're building the business. If you can't keep the cash flowing and spinning and moving and transaction, you're not going to have much success. Now, revenue-wise, I want to push $2.5 million of revenue. Is what I'd love to do in the next 12 months. Are we going to get there? I don't know, right? When we started Prime Painters and did our first retail job, which I think was May, we did our first retail job, end of May, something like that. Last year, I came out and said, we're going to do $1 million our first year. And I think it was not a true false, but it was a poll on Instagram. I said, do you think we will hit $1 million our first year of revenue? A lot of people said no. A few people said yes. Probably going to come up short on that in the first 12 months of operation from the first time we did a retail job. So coming up in May. But we still have a shot if Ryder does his job. But we'll still have a shot. But then the goal going forward is, the next 12 months, 2.5. And right now we've got like $130,000, $140,000 on the books right now. And so that's a good thing because we've never been in that position. That's the most that we've had scheduled on the books already, I believe, ballpark close. And you look at it a year ago right now, we weren't even doing retail jobs yet. So everything's trending in the right direction. I think the biggest hurdle is going to be in accomplishing our revenues is not actually the sales process, because marketing, branding, sales is kind of my background a little bit. I'm not like a crazy expert, but I've had some success there, and I have no doubt that we could do $5 million of sales. But my issue is how can we produce $5 million in a year right now? So as we start to scale out our sales team and all that stuff, we'll be on top of it from marketing, sales, branding. But how can we produce? We need the people to produce. We need teams and leverage that thing out. So, and then when you look at the other phase of our accounting and that back end, we're getting pretty set there from Prime Painters, from inventory system to you know what, someday we should just put this on a cord so they can come see our little inventory system. But inventory system, you know, how we're job costing, right? Most painting companies, contract companies, it takes them forever to figure out their actual like direct costs into a job that they did as far as labor and material to figure out their gross margin. And we've got a system in place where it takes me 2 seconds to go back and look at the last 10 jobs, 15 jobs, 20 jobs, 30 jobs that we did. It takes me 2 seconds to find out on each of those jobs how efficient we are and if we hit our gross margin or not. Our gross margin is 50%, so we try to at least be 50%. So if we do a job for $4,000, that means we want our total cost into that job between labor and materials to be $2,000, and then the remaining $2,000, right? It goes towards rent, equipment, admin fees, marketing, all that other stuff, and then we have hopefully 20% left at least that is a pure profit, right, and free cash flow. So that's our goals. That's how much money we will make, or whatever, and that's what we're shooting for. But we have big plans. We as our apartment portfolio grows and as we start to buy stuff in Florida, guess what's coming right behind a purchase in Florida? We're starting Prime Painters in Florida, right? Prime Painters to the moon. Is that what you said, yeah. Modine? So we're going to be doing that. And I see a huge opportunity. I can't tell you how many times we'll beat another company because we picked up the phone and got back to the lead in like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? We set up the estimate for the same day or the next day, and then we give them a price on the spot. Versus someone else, another contractor, they'll schedule an estimate 2 weeks from now. They don't have a sales team. They'll schedule it 2 weeks from now. They'll go out, give the estimate, and it'll take another 3 or 4 days to give the estimate to the homeowner or the business or whatever that wants a painting job done. And by that time, it's like we're already done with their project, or we already got them scheduled, we got their deposit in, et cetera, right? And so we're providing a great customer experience is what we're trying to do. Do we mess up? Do we have to fix things? Absolutely. There's stuff that goes wrong all the time. It's kind of jumpy on there. Does it look kind of weird, or is it like that? I wonder for them. Okay, just the TV. Okay. So that's where we're at there.
To pay for estimates, free estimates.
Oh yeah, free estimates.
Did you used to pay for estimates?
Do we used to have customers pay us to come out and do estimates?
No, did you used to pay estimates when you called other?
What do you mean?
Because we offer free estimates.
Yeah, so like people call us, right? Ryan will say, hey, hello, Prime Painters, right? Mm-hmm. And then we do a free estimate, right? So we show up and give them an estimate on their job. Is that what you mean? What?
But I was asking if other companies do free estimates.
Or are they charging companies?
Yeah.
There are some companies that do charge to do an estimate. We just, with our ratios, with our closing ratios and all that stuff, it's not something that we do right now. So good question though. But there are people that do that. They'll charge like $50 or $100 to cover their cost or whatever. But I view that as a cost of doing business and providing excellent. I know I wouldn't pay for an estimate. I don't think I would. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but let's see here. All right.
Go live on TikTok.
You want to go live on TikTok? Yeah. I mean, you have access to my TikTok. Yeah. All right. The next question is, and if you're watching live on YouTube, by the way, so wait, Facebook live chat, they can't actually chat with us live?
No.
Not yet. You know how to do that, you think, though?
I'm working.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
Sure.
YouTube, if you're watching live on YouTube, you guys can ask questions. We still have the chat there on the left or on the right or whatever side of the screen that's on, and you can ask questions. So the next question is, can you please break down the average return on investment targets for investors' interest in your syndications? So what we typically try to do, RPA, Ryan says next question. So breaking down the return on investment target for investors interested in syndications. For us, how we do things is we try to, yeah, that's good. Do you want to press go live? All right, go live. So what we try to do for ROIs, our goal is to 2.5x to 3x investor equity over 5 to 10 years. That's our goal. So we try to find deals that will do that through cash flow. So we pay out monthly distributions. A lot of companies out there will pay quarterly, will pay yearly. Administratively, it costs more to do monthly, but when I started this whole thing, and other guys in this business like, wow, you do monthly distributions. That's amazing. When I started, I wanted to get paid monthly. Like we have other bills coming in monthly. We have rent to pay. People have mortgages to pay. People got to buy groceries. People are going on vacations. They got all these expenses monthly. You're paying Netflix monthly. I think you want to receive a check from Spaulding Group in your real estate investment monthly. That's at least so I wanted to treat all the other investors like I treated myself, and that's really what we're trying to solve here. I was trying to solve my problems. I wanted to be able to build wealth for myself, my future family, and all that stuff. I want all of our investors to be treated the same way. So we're sending monthly distributions, and so the ROI though, that 2.5x to 3x over 5 to 10 years, that's through the monthly distributions. Any refinance or sales proceeds is through the return of principal when we sell or refinance, and then it's through the sale proceeds as well. So those are our goals. We've yet to hold property for more than 5 years. We're coming up close to it right now with one asset, and we'll for sure have it for more than 5 years. I always project 10 years. I lose some potential investors that way, just because they want like a shorter term thing, and for me, I liked as the operator and making decisions of when we're going to sell and buy and all that stuff. I want the expectation that, hey, we're going to have your money for 10 years versus someone thinking they're going to have it back in 3, right? And when I have a longer runway, in real estate, you will always win as long as you have a long runway. So I look at things like, okay, when does our debt expire? And then once it expires, how long do I have to get new debt on it, right? What's my runway? So anytime we have a 5-year term of a loan, I'm always trying to negotiate in an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years where it just goes to adjustable rate mortgage. Because at that point, I probably don't care as much what the interest rate might be. Yes, it's critical to look at. It could have huge effects. But usually that far into a deal, as long as you have debt, you're going to be all right. Versus if you have a 90-day window when the 5-year term is up on the debt, you have a 90-day window to refinance. Now, if that 90-day window, if we had a loan come due on a property that was even performing really well, if we had a loan come due March 20th, 2020, I would have been nervous as hell because for the next 90 days, it would have been hard to refinance that. If you can't refinance it when you have the balloon payment due, you're in trouble, right? So I always know that as long as we have a long enough runway, we're going to be able to have success in real estate. And so that's what I try to do. So that's going a little bit more in depth on the ROI targets of what we're looking for. Will our model change at some point to be able to scale even more and be even more, be able to try to kick back more to investors or something? I don't know, maybe, right? Right now though, I can tell you like we're raising money left and right. We're having no problems doing the deals that we're doing right now. But we continually will want to scale, obviously. So that's that. Maudine, you want to go to the next question? Maudine, great job with this getting TikTok live going. I like it. I don't know. How do you tell? It says 0. But a couple people already asked questions, though, so they must have left. Oh, 1. Next question, if you're not watching, can't see the screen, are you going to buy units in Illinois at all? Right now, I'll never, ever, ever say never. Like a rap. I'll never, ever, ever say never. But I'll probably never buy, at least not anytime soon, will I buy in Illinois. It would have to be some type of creative, no-brainer type deal, I think, for me. Which they do come across. So like if a no-brainer deal comes across, yeah, we'll do a deal in Illinois. I see how many people are leaving the state and coming to Wisconsin, going to Indiana, leaving and going to Florida or Texas from Illinois. And I don't know. It's just not appealing to me. There's a lot of people winning Illinois. Doesn't mean I'm right, but that's my vote. Is Illinois is a no-go, right? And plus the Bears are down there. We don't like the Bears around here. So Ryder does have property in Rockford, but again, that for Ryder it was 7 units, and he showed me the deal, and I'm like, I don't like Illinois or Rockford, whatever to invest in necessarily, but the deals I saw me were great for him as a starter property, and they cash flow a ton. So like he's gonna be he's in a pretty good spot there. You know, I would not be going after this deal that we're closing out, that we're going after right now. It's 178 units, Modine. I would not be going after that deal if it was across the border in Illinois. I wouldn't have bought Springdale Apartments in Waukesha 2 years ago if that was in Illinois. Those are the type of deals where it was just, they're still really good deals, and being in Wisconsin, I know we're going to get to where we want to be, but it would have been tight enough where they weren't like for Illinois. I wouldn't have viewed them as Illinois no-brainers. An Illinois no-brainer to me has got to just be like off the charts, unbelievable, holy crap. So TikTok, I want to engage with you a little bit. Question is, how much can you invest with me? We accredited investors is what we take on. If you want more information, shoot us. Email Justin at Spaulding Group, SPAULDING, Spaulding Group, Justin at spauldinggroup.com. We'll get you the details on our upcoming investment, but it's a minimum $50,000. The maximum is up to you. I mean, we have people that do 1 million chunks at a time. We got, people that will write us $3 million, $5 million, $6 million checks. So it's up to you on how much you want to invest. Let's go to the next question on our screen or whatever it is. The question is, how can I scale up to commercial/apartment complexes? Scale up from what? I'm assuming if you're in single family, the first step would be sell off all the single family stuff, and at that point reinvest all that into a 4 unit, into an 8 unit, into a 16 unit. If you do sell off the single family stuff, and I talk about this topic a lot, so you can go back through previous episodes if you're the person that asked. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. You sell it off, and let's say you have $100,000 left. My advice to you is go find 2 other people that each have $100,000. Now you have $300,000. Take the $300,000 and go buy something that's worth $900,000 to $1.2 million. That's either a 4 unit, 8 unit, 16 unit, 24 unit, whatever, and start to scale that way. Let's go to the next question. I'm just thirsty today. Next question is, I'm in Colorado and prices for deals are getting too ridiculous. Would out of state make sense? I think out of state always makes sense to look at. You can, never have any boundaries, but my advice to you is also never shop on a budget. You're in Colorado and prices for deals are getting too ridiculous as far as what? Right? Because if you go back to Rockefeller days, right, the 1800s, early 1900s, and if those people saw the prices today, they'd be like, what the heck? Because obviously over time, prices go up, right? So the best time to invest in real estate was yesterday. The next best time is today. You can't just buy on a budget, right? So when it's getting too ridiculous, what do you mean by ridiculous? Are some of the properties ridiculous? Yes, probably. Are all of them? No. That's my advice on that. I think wherever you go right now, it's also like you could come to Wisconsin though and see, oh, holy crap, like it's only $185,000 a unit, but $185,000 a unit in Wisconsin, there's not a lot of deals that trade that high, right? So it's what is ridiculous? You got to look at the numbers. You got to look at how many people are moving into the state, how many people are supposed to move in the state, how many people are leaving the state, how many businesses are coming into the state, how fast is the area growing, what the cap rate is, what the price per unit is, how much cash flow does it throw off, what value add opportunity is there. You got to look at the whole thing. You can't just buy real estate on a budget, period. You got to and it's taken me a long time to get out of that mindset, but finally 4 or 5 years ago I did. I stopped just trying to buy on a budget and just started to look at the underlying fundamentals of it and the whole big picture. And once I opened up and looked at the whole big picture, that's where things started to click, make more sense, and we started to pull off bigger and bigger deals. And we've bought things anywhere from $40,000 a unit up to, $220 a unit, right? So it's just, I don't know what you mean by ridiculous. If ridiculous means I'm trying to buy on a budget and things are just getting out of my budget, well, find a way to make more money, find partners, whatever. Ridiculous compared to what? Next question. And if it's ridiculous because you look at yesterday's pricing, aka 2016 pricing, obviously real estate goes up over time. Is there going to be a point in time when real estate goes down 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%? Probably. Have a plan in place so that you can make it through, right? We don't over leverage. Once we add value to a property, Delavan is, for example, the property we have over at Whispering Pines, bought for $6 million. The thing's probably worth $12 million today. We only have $4.5 million of debt on it. We're not going to the hit, like just re-leveraging up to our earlobes, right? So that we can handle when it does go down again for a little amount of time. I never want to be in a position where I have to sell. Never be in a position where you're forced to sell. Next question is, where did you even start to look for investors when you first started? I actually didn't even really look for investors intentionally. Obviously, when I started, I didn't start with a family loan or anything. My family invested for equity that they still have that has multiplied 100x since 2012. And, the investors came around, really, I guess with the storage units, yes, we kind of started looking for an investor, but it kind of started coming to me where people started asking, hey, can I invest? And that kind of gave me the idea. Okay. So at first it was just taking the people that were saying, hey, can we invest? And rolling with them. And then now it's become more of like, I'm creating podcasts to create more attention, to get more investors. I'm going live on Instagram and TikTok right now to maybe find 1 or 2 people that want to invest with us over time. Right. So now I'm being more intentional, but, you got to network. If you're looking to intentionally find, you got to network. You got to be able to share your track record. If you don't have a track record, you got to share your vision and get someone to buy into that vision who will go in on a deal with you to then, for you to then have a track record, to then create a story off that track record, to then share the story of that track record to other people, right? You got to have a track record. So that's the biggest thing right there is, networking, letting other people know what your vision is. Some people think it's egotistical of me to post things. And this is going to be probably a good post right here, Claudine, for what I'm saying. People think it's egotistical of me to post the things that I post, and they think it's arrogant. They don't understand that I'm just trying to grow my business. I need to get my story out there. I need to get attention so that people know what we're doing so that they can come help me, right? I need your help and your help and your help and your help and your help, Modine. I need everyone at the office. I need their help. I need our investors' help. Just like the investors, the employees, our customers, they need my help, right? We need each other in this ecosystem. And so it's not about being arrogant or egotistical. And I don't even care about that stuff anymore. Whoever is saying that about me, I'm sharing my track record so that I can find more people that are going to help me. Because by them helping me, I'm also, if they're getting involved, I'm also helping them, right? So you have to be willing to share your vision, share your track record, and not view it as braggadocious or egotistical or arrogant, but as a way to, gain traction. So I think that'll be a pretty good post because that'll explain some of the stuff. I'm going to TikTok again real quick here. If you're on TikTok and join us, thank you for joining us so much. Leave a question. Another question that came in from TikTok. It's not even a question. Just someone that's passing by said, hey, hope I have a great day. Keep being awesome. All right. Thanks. You too. Next question, Modine. And after this question, Modine, I'll go to one on Instagram Live that I've got. The exit time frame on the 218 unit deal. So the 218 unit deal that we closed in January, actually a unique little deal. So basically the seller wanted to have one transaction and one person, one buyer, all of it closed on the same day for basically a portfolio. And the portfolio is as such. The portfolio is 78 townhome units on one site. A mile away, there's another 76 townhouses on another site. And then there's 32 duplexes within a little radius. They're all clumped together. And so those were the 3 deals. That's how I broke them down. People are like, hey, why'd you break this thing up? Why'd you break up and put a different piece of debt on the 32 units, on the 32 duplexes that are 64 units? Why'd you put a different piece of debt and different kind of debt on the 76 units, townhomes? And on the 78 unit townhomes, why'd you put a different piece of debt and a different type of debt on those? Because when we break it up, the sum of the parts broken up are actually worth more than that whole deal together. Case in point. Deal, in my opinion, is worth $40 million if you're willing to break the whole thing up. If you're not, it's worth less. So the reason it's worth less is because someone might not find duplexes appealing, right? I don't find the duplexes as appealing. So the duplexes are probably going to start to be sold off after a year into that thing, so we don't have to pay ordinary, regular earned income, taxes on them, and we can have capital gains tax on them. So we'll start to sell those off in a year, and we'll hold the rest of them for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. I don't know for sure. So that's kind of a quick answer to that. But that deal, that's another deal where there was so many other people that looked at that deal and just looked at it from one angle, whereas I came in and I looked at it from as many different angles as I could, and I said, there's a ton of value to unlock here. I mean, we purchased this thing for $33 million. Like, right now, if someone came by and said, I'll give you $36 million for it, we'll give you $37 million for it, I'd say no. Because once again, you take the sum of all those parts, and if you break them up and find the right buyers, if we sell off and retail off each individual duplex, we're going to get a lot better deal than the price, that we paid for those duplexes buying them as a whole. An example being is an investor that comes through that would buy all of those, he needs some type of cash on cash return, right? And it's got to be comparable to if he were to go buy a 64 unit apartment building, essentially. Versus if we retail those off, we can retail it off to someone that might live on the other side, right? They can pay more for that duplex than the investor who has investors that need X return to make it make sense. So with that deal, the exit time frame is anywhere from 12 months to 10 years, just depending on what we're offered, when we're offered it, and when we're going to be able to hit those returns or greater returns than we showed to our investors. And it'll happen. It's just a matter of when. We cut the first distributions for that deal actually just today, which is awesome. Distributions went out. So yeah, let's go to I want to go to Instagram real quick. RP Wells, Ryan Wells asked, how long until I buy an NBA team? I'd want an NFL team first, Ryan. Probably 30 years. Yeah, probably 25. It's gonna take me a long time to get there. I'm building I'm not like creating Tesla. I'm never gonna have a company. I'll never invent something like Tesla. I'm not that smart.
Never seen.
No, I probably. I mean, I might get lucky and get to a point where I can invest in 10 companies really early on and get really lucky and have a $50,000 investment turn into 1.6 billion or something, maybe, right? But I won't be the creator of that business. I can pretty much 99.9% tell you right now I won't be. I mean, like, the things that I'm doing are so old-fashioned. I truly believe the way that I'm building wealth, anybody can build wealth the way I'm building wealth. It's sales. I mean, I started a freaking painting company, Maudine. Like, we started painting walls around here and ceilings and doing a great job at it, right? It's a pretty basic business. No Tesla. And now my thing there is I'm patient. I don't need to take money off the table, prime painters right now. But as we get prime painters going, there's going to be $20 million of revenue there. Off that $20 million, there's going to be $4 million of earnings, right, of cash flow thrown off. If it throws off more than that, that's the portions we split up. We give it back to the company, bonus people out. But if we throw off $4 million, where's the $4 million going to go? I bet you can already guess. Where would the $4 million, if I had $4 million go, where do you think I'm going to probably put it? Properties. Maudin's been here for a week and he gets it. Like, so I think in me doing the things the way that I'm doing them, it's going to take me, I'm not going to build Facebook in 5 years and be a billionaire in 5 years. Mark Zuckerberg essentially did that. I mean, 5 years after he was worth $1 billion, right? Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen to me. I mean, it could happen, but it's the old-fashioned way. I'm never going to be able to create something like Facebook. I won't. It's not me. Tell you right now. I could be a part of something and be an advisor or be an early advisor, be something that's worth $100 million that I happen to have a few percentage points. But even a few percentage points of $100 million, only $2 or $3 million. That's $2 or $3 million isn't buying an NBA team or an NFL team. I mean, by the time that I can probably buy it, it's probably going to be, all those teams are probably going to be $8 billion, $10 billion, $12 billion. A lot. True, but still, it's the same. That's a lot of resources. See, and once again, to be able to buy, okay, now going back to, even if you gave me $3 billion today, I probably wouldn't even be able to buy a NFL team, because this goes back to the question, would you rather have a billion friends or a billion $1 billion, I'd be closer to being able to buy an NFL or NBA team having 1 billion friends, contacts, leads, people in my life than I would having $1 billion. Because to buy an NBA team, NFL team, not only do you need the money, you have to be in the circle. You have to be in the circle. You have to know the people that know the people, or you have to know the people that are the people to be able to make that happen. You can't just say, hey, I got $10 billion, and not anybody can just go buy a team, even if they have the money. Like, the other owners, I believe, have to approve of it. So you got to be in those circles, right? I mean, that's why Gary Vee, he wants to buy the Jets. Yeah. Well, you know what? Dude's smart enough to be able to be friends, become friends and business partners, let Stephen Ross buy part of his business. Because Stephen Ross already in the circle. He owns the Dolphins, right? So that was a play where he probably gave up a lot of economics on the selling part of his business to Stephen Ross. But I think Stephen Ross is an investor there. But to him, it's not just about solely the dollar, right? That move was transactional from the standpoint of it's helping him get into a circle of influence that has influence on the decision makers potentially, and Stephen Ross probably is a decision maker because his vote would count towards if that sale of the New York Jets is going to be approved or not, right? So that's a move where it's not just about the actual dollar bill paper, right? It's a transaction. It's a transaction, a relationship, a transaction, and it's something that's living and flowing, not a deadbeat piece of crap, burnable piece of paper. And that's the mindset that you got to have. Because that's all it is paper. All right, next question. Next question is, where do you get started in real estate? How to find the property? Where to get the necessary people? I've talked about this a million times, so again, not going to go too much into it. You can probably find it on episodes 1 through 16. This is episode 17. You can find this on my Instagram channel, my YouTube page. Where do you get started in real estate? You got to go out and, number one, you got to learn. You got to find a way to make money. You got to stash that money and save it with a mindset of I'm going to invest it. You got to go out and look at deals, and then you got to pull the trigger on the deal. Learn, find a way to make money, save that money to invest, go out and look at deals, and then pull the trigger and buy a deal. That's how you get started in real estate. You can go to www.justinspaulding.com. I got a lot of tools there, a lot of programs, a great way for you to learn. If you want something that's all nice and neat and packaged together step by step, or for free, you can go to all my content out there and pierce through, dig through all of it yourself and try to put it into your own order or whatever, or just, go through and consume the hours and hours, probably thousands of hours of content that I have out there for free and learn that way. But I'm not going to take a ton of time on this podcast because this is a question that I answer so often, so much. That's the answer for that.
You have a question?
Yeah, Randy Langer asks me, what's the biggest need or needs as you try to take your business from where it is now to 50,000 units? It continues to be people and the right people. Because again, it's trading, it's the infrastructure and the people and the technology and the awareness more than it is like sometimes the money, right? And so it's the people. We've got like really good people right now. Like we've got 30. What do we got here now? Maudine joined us, and I think he put us at 30. I think you might have put us at 35 people between Prime Painters, Maudine, and Spaulding Group. Now, even at 35, I think we're still we have 4 seats open right now, which would take us to 39. We're looking to hire 2 to 3 more painters, which would take us to 42. And then when we close on this deal in June, we're going to need another 4. That's going to take us to 46. We're closing on 50 employees. We have a lot of great foundational players right now that, in my opinion, are underpaid. And I think that, like Ava, I told her yesterday in a review, Ava, you're underpaid. CJ, for what she brings, is underpaid right now. But I know that if people can stick with me long enough, that it's going to be made right. And I want to be able to create as many millionaires, multimillionaires as possible. So, we're looking for the right people with the right type of mindset, the right work ethic, the right character, who can be the right piece and the right fit at the right time for what we need right now to get to the next level. So I'd say it's the people. It's and that's like, once again, that's employees, that's investors, that's clients, right? We need the right type of clients. Well, we're looking at hiring another marketer too, and another salesperson. I mean, so we're gonna be close to 50 employees here by June. And then we need to just continue to build out the processes and our standards. We've gotten to the point where like we have the Spaulding Group way, which is our playbook, and the Prime Painters way, which is our playbook, and we need to continue to detail that thing out, because as we continue to grow, like McDonald's, Maudine, we talked about this in a couple episodes ago, right? About McDonald's even has a training manual of like, this is the 6 steps that you do and this is how you do this. And we want people that obviously I don't want robots, but yet at the same time, we still need to have things done a certain way when we're growing and getting to scale, to make sure that the distribution check gets to the investor, right? I mean, all those things that we're also gonna have turnover. So we need to have the systems and processes in place, documented, so that we can plug people in and out as we continue to grow and scale. So I'd say those are the things that we need, from where it is now to 50,000 units, and from where Prime Painters is now to 5 million and to 20 million and whatever. And once again, I talk about these numbers, and really the numbers, I have the most fun, like just building this, encouraging the people that we have on board, challenging the people we have on board, sometimes cussing out the people we have on board, and just growing the people. Because if we have the processes and the people, like I can't do this, I cannot do what I'm trying to do alone. I can't do it alone. And that's my same message when I'm talking to like investors and family offices and all this stuff that have a lot of, liquidity and strong balance sheets. It's like, yeah, some of them talk to me and they see how fast we raise money. They're like, wow, that's incredible. You can raise money that quick. And I'm like, yeah, but we're so tiny right now that like, in order to get to where we want to get to, we are going to need more family offices to team up with us. We're going to need more wealthy independent investors to team up with us. We're going to need other great, C-suite type people, and likely they're going to come in and be underpaid and not be a C-suite right away, but people that will be willing to grow. Oh, you got to change that battery. Hurry up.
I'm gonna go black for a second.
Hurry up. We're going to go black for 1 second here. Oh, this is a slow pit stop. We should have.
No way.
No, you didn't miss it. We back live? We good? Well, because it might be on delay. All right, we had to change a battery there. Can we plug the camera in next time? Do you know? Can we do that? We need to get a cord. We need to find a cord from Best Buy or Amazon and get it. So that's what we need to get to, where we want to go, Randy. That's a good question. And we're talking about that all the time here right now. Is like, the type of people before CJ came on board. Everyone except for me and Ava is gone from this company when CJ came on board. CJ came on board May 2019, and we had 16 employees, I think, then, and me and Ava were here. Everybody's gone except for me and Ava. CJ wasn't able to fire me or force me out, and nor Ava, right? And so, but you look at the type of person around here, and like I'm grateful for the 16 people that were here before then, super grateful. But they weren't the people that were going to take us to where we're at now at 900 units. There's no way it would ever happen. Like, we wouldn't be at 900 units right now if Ava and CJ weren't here, period. Because then the other people that we've brought on, CJ's done a great job of growing that team, right? And our expectations changed. A year and a half ago, Ava, CJ, and I sat down and we said, we need to identify the type of person that we want coming in, like what they're all about, their character, their core values, and they need to match and align our core values more so than the actual talent they bring on board. That's why we'll bring Ryder on board, who came out of high school, give him the responsibility to do sales and do content and all this stuff, because of the type of person he was, the core values he has. Right? I feel like we can train people to do what they need to do, or if we don't know how yet, we'll figure it out, as long as it's the right person. If the person can work hard, results driven, wants to get better at their craft every single day, I will take that person 100 times over the person that has supposedly 8 or 10 years experience every time, because we always, if they can't be challenged, if they're, gonna shy away and not have some strength while here, you're just not gonna make it. So it's the right type of person. And the cool thing is over the last year and a half, 2 years, 6 months, we've been able to add more and more people like that. And so now the environment's completely different where like you can challenge people a little bit more, you can get after people a little bit more, and they're not just going to sulk and go away. I could not do that from 2015 to 2019 because if I did, it was like I was walking on eggshells and not myself around here, because if I did anything like that or challenge people, they would just flake off. They couldn't handle it, or they couldn't step up, and so it was to the point where like we kept attracting not the right type of person, and we would lose the good person because we had too many of the wrong people here. Versus now it's like, if now what we have going on is we have all the right people that we want for the most part, and if the person comes in who doesn't want to come to that, they just kind of leave. They just kind of leave because they realize like I can't play at this level, and they'd be a really, really, really great employee somewhere else, but they're just not going to meet the standard that we have here. So, really good question. Really good question there. Eddie, you're in the Bahamas, huh? Happy birthday to your mom. I think it was. I think I saw that on Instagram. What else? Okay, someone on Instagram asked, where in Florida are we targeting for painting and apartments? The apartments will happen first for sure. Northeast Florida right now is where we're looking. And then once we have, in our first acquisition there will be 200 to 350 units, and most likely. And then what happens is we're going to get 2 painters, and they're going to start painting. I got riders in the studio now too. They're going to start painting the apartments, and then we'll just have a sales rep that starts to, do sales down there, and we grow and, whatever. Michelle, you can't be too loud for this. Like, if you're trying to be quiet, you can't. Yeah. So yeah, that's that question. Northeast Florida.
On the spot.
Yeah.
I'll start our team then.
There you go.
No,
we got to get this. We got to get this thing like 2 to 5 million first, and we got to get.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, we can. Yeah. I mean, so. Next question.
And build it here and then build it there.
Build it here and then build it there. It's that easy. Get a private plane. Hey, what do you have? Where are we at for sales for the week? Riders in the room. I'm trying to ask them right now.
But I missed a call.
That's it? 30,000.
Shut up.
We kind of slowed down in the second part of the week.
Hang on. It should. I am very hopeful that in the next 5 hours we can get this thing to 40.
Well, you got until, once again, remember the
We
thing,
have till Sunday,
right?
yeah.
You got till Monday morning.
Yeah.
If you close the deal at 5 a.m. Monday, we can count it in this week.
No, Monday's a cutoff.
Monday? Okay.
So I get
Midnight?
Sunday.
All right,
I get
fine.
Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, you can't do the rollover for this.
Deal.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we get to 50?
I mean, gotta get to 40 first.
Well, I know, but can we get to 50?
We can, yeah.
Anything is
happen?
possible.
Anything is possible.
Can we get to 100? Maybe.
If it's the right phone call. If you didn't miss that call. What was the call? Was it a good one?
It was from the person I just estimate from. I was in. All that.
It's funny around here because like Ryder's got a bell that he rings now when he sells a job, and it goes ding 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 ding, and sometimes he'll bump it and it'll go ding, and we're like everyone in the office now is like, did you sell one or is that? No, I bumped it. And then it's also funny. It's also really funny when he rings the bell and people get really excited, and then all of a sudden, like from the back, like my far corner back office where I have no windows, I'm like, how much was it? And like everyone cheers, and I'm like, how much was it? And Ryder goes, 1,400, because we'll have bigger jobs that are like 5, 10, 12, 15, whatever. And so I'm like 1,400, and he's like, even the small guys got to eat.
Yeah,
but
we should get a smaller bell maybe.
dude, I do. That is a great idea.
And I also think we should.
I like it.
Ember and Michelle think that.
Well, I think they should, because they're trying to catch up on COVID delinquencies right now, and they have goals that if they get to X, then they get a meal. If they get to X, they get a massage or something. I committed. I don't know what I think. I overcommitted.
Maybe we get them like maybe not as cool.
Get the little. Just kidding. That's important stuff because that's the apartments.
Yeah.
So that's actually theoretically in my mind more important than your sales. Sorry.
No, not.
But yes, I do like the idea of maybe we can get like a big bell that's like maybe a deeper.
Like for $10,000 and we.
Yeah, something. But then we have an idea, because then it's like, I mean, it's still exciting,
Oh,
but it's.
like, yeah, that's a lot more exciting. Yeah.
But I do kind of think it's pretty funny though when like he rings the bell and then like everyone will cheer and then like it'll be silent for 4. It'll be silent for 4 seconds in the office, and I go, "How much was it?"
Yeah.
And Ryder goes, "Oh, 1,400."
That's the
Like
worst.
this morning,
I tell them,
1,400.
like, I don't want to ring the bell on some of these smaller ones because I already know that question.
Not always though. I don't always ask you, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel like asking right now, and I'm not on the phone or something. And then the other funny thing is like our office isn't huge here. We're definitely bursting at the seams. But we'll be in the conference room. Like the other day, CJ and I were in the conference room. And I think we were on the phone or whatever. We were on a conference call. And hey, Rich, we were on the conference call, and all of a sudden the bell rings in the background, and we just started like laughing in the middle of the conference call. And so, because they can probably hear the bell because it's like such a small office again. But all right, anyway, all right, see ya. You're going to do an estimate?
I'm going to go with Rich.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, awesome. See ya.
Yeah.
All right. Would you? So now the next question. Would you send me offering memorandum so I can study the structure of a deal? Our typical structure right now. I'm not just going to send out our stuff. Our typical structure right now is 6% preferred return to the investors. My cash treated like your cash. My dad's cash is treated just like your cash as an investor. So all the cash is created equal. 6% preferred return, and then after that it's a 70-30 split. 70% back to our general partner. 70% to the investors. 30% back to the general partnership. Once it's a 12% annualized return through cash flow distributions each month, right? Which might be 3 years into the deal, 10 years into the deal, not till we sell, maybe. I don't know when the exact timing is, right? Once we hit 12% annualized, so we got to backfill those years where we didn't hit 12%. Maybe in year 8 we only hit 8%, right? And so we got to backfill that up to 12%. And once every year is back to 12%, now it's a 50-50 split between our GP and the investors. So that's the structure. We do a 1% acquisition fee, a 1% disposition fee. That is on the purchase and sale price of the property. That goes to the general partners. And then we have a 0.25%, 25 basis points, aka 0.25% of an asset management fee. And that is on the capital that is invested. So let's say we raised $10 million like we did in the deal in January. That means annually $25,000 a year comes to the general partnership group. That is peanuts compared to what most private equity firms are going to charge. They're anywhere from 1% to 2%. I'm not trying to get, once again, could our structure change, et cetera, et cetera? Yes. I'm not trying to get like crazy wealthy through I want the performance. I want the cash flow of the properties to build my wealth. I want the successful operation of real estate to be what really builds my wealth. So that's how we structure it. I'm sure, Maudine, that's going to be a huge hit on Instagram right there. If the people that watch, we're going to see on the retention graph that people are going to watch that over and over again because they're going to rewind and watch that again and again. So that will also probably, this is a hint towards you, this will probably also be a good clip for Instagram. Got no cash in my wallet, but I got contacts. Would you rather have $1 billion or contacts? Contacts. $1 billion or contacts, right? Would you rather have 1 billion friends or $1 billion? I got no cash on me today, but I got 2 contacts, and the 2 contacts worth more than having a couple of $100 bills in here. All right. If you weren't watching the video, you can't see what I just did, but next question. That was the last question. All right. That was the last question that we had on hand for this week. We already had like 9 or 10 roll over to next week, though, didn't we, from this? Yeah. So we already got like 9 or 10 for next week. Someone on here asking what's the latest with Ryder's properties. They're cash flowing. They're full. He's gone over and cleaned some of the vacant apartments out and stuff like that. Reminds me of me when I was at that point because that's what I was doing. I was doing all of it. So they're doing good. Man, we're getting like a lot of people on here that like put Ryder on the stream. I'm gonna just have Ryder create his own podcast out of our studio.
He told me to.
Good. You can, yeah, for sure. OmniFlow1 says, what did you do to build your capital for first deal? I did direct sales. And I'm still in direct sales, and direct sales is still paying me. People make fun of direct sales. Once again, it's so funny to me that the people that aren't actually doing it are the first to criticize, point fingers, and laugh until they realize, oh shit, that's why he's doing direct sales. Like, I was just a direct sales kid, like, yeah, he's doing this AdvoCare thing. And, in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then people started to realize, oh, wait, he's doing AdvoCare, which was my direct sales company I was involved in, not because he wants to make a living off of direct sales, but because he wants to stash money to then invest in real estate. And then I was a real estate investor doing direct sales, right? People didn't realize that I was also creating a private equity company, right? And then also created Prime Painters. So like all these things come into my mind with what's going on. And that's why I had to post earlier a story on Instagram. And I said, what you are seeing right now is actually looking into the past, because this already actually happened 10 years ago. This already happened 5 years ago, 3 years ago, right? I'm in 2024 and you're watching this. Like it's like tape delay. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Maudine, or if it makes sense to anyone watching this, but it's like I'm on tape delay, and this actually happened, like right now, me talking, this actually happened years ago. Because I'm thinking 15 steps ahead with everything that not even people at our office understand what's coming yet or what's going through my mind or whatever, until one day I just unleash and say, we're starting a painting company, right? Or, whatever the next thing is. And I've got so many, like everyone right now thinks, oh, it's a painting company. But I view it as the start of a sales organization. And this is what I talk with our lead painters about all the time. I said, how are we going to keep up with the demand that we're going to have? Because guess what? We did a flooring job. We turned a $3,000 paint job into $10,000 total project because we added flooring and did the flooring. By the way, she loved it so much, we're going to do the exterior. So we turned a $3,000, I said but I meant we turned a $3,000 ticket item into a $15,000 ticket item. Because we have sales and we're willing to do things, right? So people view it as like, people are seeing me today. Like people saw me in 2012 as just that, hey, he's in direct sales. That's cute. Network marketing, what a pyramid scheme, right? But they didn't get it. Just like people now don't understand it. They don't get it. Like I'm thinking 15 steps ahead of where I'm at right now and already acting on the 12th step. But it's not until 4 years from now they can actually see what was going on right now. Like the network marketing direct sales thing. I was already thinking 15 steps ahead of what I was going to be doing with that money that I was making. Other people thought it was cute or a pyramid scheme or a scam or whatever, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, maybe, whatever. But I'd already bought 1,000 apartments then in my mind. It was done. It was over. People didn't see it yet until then I bought 4, and then we bought another 4, then we bought 150 storage units, then we bought 88 units, then we bought 40, then we bought 24. And so then people are like, okay, he's doing this direct sales thing, he's got some real estate stuff going, but they still didn't get it because like it wasn't just real estate either. By the time it turned to real estate and people realized it was real estate, I was already moved on and I already had basically a private equity company. Nobody got it. Now people are getting it because now all of a sudden like we're raising $10 million in 6 days, right? Then we start Prime Painters and people think, oh, he's got a painting company. But really it's the sales organization within the painting company that now we're going to be able, right now it's just Ryder and I, right? But we got a marketing intern that's going to be coming on board. We're going to be getting another sales rep, right? Ultimately, that's going to be a sales organization that now can build like whatever we want to go sell, we're going to go sell. Right? Whatever, Maudine, you don't realize, but if you can be here long enough, you'll be compensated way more than what you're being compensated now. And it's not just Justin Spaulding content and Prime Painters content. It's all the marketing and branding that it's going to take for whatever company that we're trying to buy or sell or flip or whatever. Right? And so all this stuff, everything that I've done in the last 10, 12 years, I've been 15 steps ahead. And it takes, you got to be consistent, persistent, and play this game long enough. But then it all plays out, and all these people are like, wow, look at what's going on right now. But all of this actually happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because in my mind it was already done. And then it was just the actions now that I had the vision. Now is the action that I had to go get it. I had to find the right people to help. I had to find partners. I had to find, I had to get the skills, right? So I'm telling you, like this organization's way different. I mean, if you just look what happened in the last 2 years, I don't even remember what the question was anymore. Now I'm just like going. But if you look at how different this organization is just from 2 years ago to where we're at now, like where are we going to be at in another 5 is just crazy, because now I'm just starting to personally get resources that I can throw extra money towards to help it accelerate, right? Instead of just bootstrapping everything along, I'm finally getting, I can finally take 10,000 and put it here and 20,000 there and 30,000 here to make things happen a lot quicker and build the infrastructure quicker to then start to see success a little bit quicker, to make sales and hit revenue a little bit quicker. So you got to be able to visualize it. You got to be able to then go out and execute and do. And so many people, like, they have the want or the desire or, whatever. to do something, but then they just sit there and they hope and pray and whatever, which is great because you need all that. But then you also have to backfill all that stuff with a ton of work. And man, working out for football and all that stuff, those days I put in with Brad and Drew and like those things, that was putting in work, and that taught me now I just have to being an athlete, we're so blessed. Like all the athletes out there should be able to do so much more after they're done if they just find the right thing to put all that energy towards. Like you do the hardest things. If Chris Wormley's working out right now, if he's watching through Instagram right now or catches this, who watches all my stuff and he plays for the Steelers, I've talked to him about this before. And it's like, dude, if you can realize it, if you can take all that hard effort, like working out, the training and prep that you have to do sucks. Like it beats your body up, you're sore. Like there's days that you definitely don't want to go, but you have to push through it. And then like at the end of speed drills and lifting weights, then you got to condition. And it's like, dude, like there are days you do not want to do it. But when you can force yourself through that and do that, all an ex-athlete has to do is to be able to direct that energy towards something else, and they'll crush anything in life. But so many of them think that like or make football or basketball their identity, when during a short time it is, and it has to be, because that's where the revenue's coming from for them and all that stuff. It has to be. But then so many of them, like Kobe Bryant started to do this. He started to make a transition. Like Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, like they were able to box up all that they had in athletics and redirect that energy into something else that's positive. And I think that there's so many other athletes that could go out and do this, and just so many other regular people too. Like I said before, what I'm doing is not rocket science. It's some basic old school business type stuff. It's not creating an electric car or a rocket that's going to Mars or Facebook or something crazy like that. It's like old school, like anybody can go do this stuff. So that's that rant. We don't have any other questions today. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the 17th episode of The Justin Spaulding Show. Go to justinspaulding.com, check out the book. I saw a couple people bought the book here while we were pinged up on my phone. Go check out the products there. I do have one-on-one coaching as well. Yeah, it's static in here. Modine just got shocked. Go check out my website. Go check out the one-on-one coaching. It's a year-long coaching program for $25,000. Trade your paper for something that's actually valuable. Like, I'll sit down with you and customize what we need to do to get you to where you want to be. I can't come up with the ideas for you, but I can help you implement things that are going to help you grow faster, no doubt about it. Go get that, because you know what? At the end of the month, I think the price is going up because we've got some demand there right now, and I don't have enough time to put into coaching and all that stuff. So go check that out. Go check out the Build Wealth and Real Estate program. You get it $1,297, $1,297. You get the program for life. Go check out the book. Go get the book. I'm telling you, there's $1 billion worth of value there. And you know what? If you have a lot of time too, and you don't need like the direct step-by-step how-to package little deal, go to my Instagram, follow me there. Go to YouTube, follow me there. There's hundreds of hours of content that if you pierce through it all, it's the same stuff. Like it's also worth $1 billion, no doubt about it. Gold. So, all right. We will talk to you guys next week on the 18th episode. If there's any questions off this, please leave us comments, leave us questions. We'll get them on a future episode.